Well, hey YouTube, it's Petey Two Finger. How the heck are you? I'm doing pretty good. It's a Sunday night here in Chicagoland. It's what is it? It's midnight. It's Monday, and I just got done modifying a elephant envelope filter. Excuse me, elephant. I just got done with an elephant. Yeah.
It's a horse, isn't it?
So here's the. This is really what I wanted to show off. This was what I got for my wife for Christmas. It's a chopping block that came from Goodwill, and I primed that and painted it black with some rattle can spray paint. I got this Korg Dt10 Tuner, which is just a fantastic tuner. It really, the way that the LEDs move, it's just a fantastic little device. And it's got a buffered bypass system. So the wine cellar is a bass preamp. There's a Coco compressor, which does the job, believe it or not. That's good, squishy, very squishy compressor. And here we have the Omni Cab Sim. Omni is the name of the manufacturer. This is a clone that I built. Here is a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This is an auto wah or envelope filter, and then the Joe-Yo Meme ultimate drive, which wow, that sounds good on the bass. So as you can see, it's nothing more than a cutting board. Are any of them, are they all bypassed? It runs off of an internal battery pack that's hidden. Oh. You hit this main power switch here, and there is two lithium-ion 18650, which is the type of battery that they are. These are Tesla. Have you ever heard of a Tesla electric car? These are what is inside of the Tesla 18650, and they're fused. They have little, like 500 milliamp fuse, or maybe it's a 310. I forget. The wiring is all in here. I just put this cardboard like a splash shield. And I didn't have enough of the square bushings, so I used a round one here. Anyway, I had built this thing for my wife, and it kind of weighs a ton. It's got these handy dandy grabbers here, which today I grabbed one and pulled it, and it came right out of the unit. I had taken them out when I was painting it. So I just used some Bbe Weld automotive epoxy, which is, it's glue, strong stuff. Now, typically when we're making music, my wife has 3 sounds that she likes to use, which one is a clean...
I like to use one.
I force her to do stuff she doesn't want to do. She does a clean bass sound, she does a distorted bass sound, and then the auto wah. So with this setup here, you can get all sorts of different gain staging between using the compressor for gain and the cab sim. There's all different ways to run it. The one oversight is a noise gate. There's a little bit of noise if you turn like the dirt box on with the compressor and you're already running the speakers, cab sim and the preamp, you will hear some 60 cycle hum if you take your hands off the strings of the guitar. So rather than ask my wife to roll the tone down, kill her volume, be shutting pedals off, that's what pros do. I ordered a noise gate, and there really is no room. I'm gonna put the noise gate on the back panel, and so yeah, there'll be a noise gate. It was a used, like a Rowan or some Donner maybe, and the chassis is green. The guy sold it to me. It was up for like $8.90, and I gave him a bid of $12, and he bid on it. So when that comes in, I'm not sure how I'll like the look of adding a green. I mean, does it even matter? I'm sure I'm just going to end up slapping it on the back. And I'm sure it'll work just fine. I mean, typically those cheap noise gates, I'm hoping I didn't make a mistake in ordering this. But I've got another one here. I've got a red one. If there's something about this thing, kills frequencies, or we'll have to see. I mean, it's not a real lot of money for the noise gate, so it's not going to be the end of the world if I'm not happy with it. And I could always put it up for $15, $20 on Craigslist. So yeah, that's something I had never noticed anyone mentioning, was building a pedal board out of a chopping block. And I really like the idea of these battery packs. It does have a bunch of rubber feet on it, and in testing it out today, we built a preamp which is in a chassis of a cable TV decoder box. And inside of that preamp, we built 7 different circuits. So there's like a buffer, an auto wah, a distortion with a mixer, so you have a clean blend, a Baxendall, 2-band EQ, volume boost, preamp stage, and a compressor. The Demeter, or do you say Demeter? The Demeter to meter compulator, which is an awesome compressor. All of the Demeter, or do you say Demeter stuff is good. Everything I've ever built from them, I've been happy with. Now, that preamp, do you remember when we built that, Capti? Rebuilding circuit after circuit after circuit.
I remember.
After circuit.
I don't remember what it was, but I remember doing that, yeah.
I built every DIY compressor that I could find, like low parts count, like they have like the engineer's thumb, the Flatline, John Hollis's compressor, all this stuff. And I guess I'm more picky than I thought I would be about this, because we built so many circuits. And I mean, I ended up with like the distortion is a dark glass circuit. And it sounds good. So I've got that other option to run that. She's got a Zoom Bbe, which is a really nice little multi-effector too. But to be honest with you, the best sounds that we've got so far was that handmade preamp that I made. Sounded pretty good. But I wasn't as crazy about it as I was with this build. This, I really like the sounds we're getting with this. The wine cellar has a little bit of drive, the mixer. And that really changes the character of what you can do. And even combining it with this built-in, with this other distortion, changes the character of that distortion quite a bit too. It gives it much more definition. when you blend in this distortion here. So I am super thrilled about this. I got to tell you, I don't normally get real excited about our gear and our rig and all that, but I bought these headphones for $37. I paid for them. Man, expensive. They're Superlux 681 Evos, and I pulled the felt. There's felt to mute the treble, and I like all that high end. And I put an EQ on my line, and now I'm getting about decent sound. Now I am waiting on a preamp board, which is going to be it's going to be a headphone amp I'm building. I'm going to have it comes with fake Chinese op amp chips. The chips that ship with it are fakes. They're garbage. They don't sound as good as they should. They don't draw that much current. They're just crappy op amps, and they're counterfeit. So when I went to order the actual parts, I'll buy the cheap board. I don't mind buying the cheap board with the fake chips. I'll just replace those chips. It's not even soldering. You just pull them out and pop the new chip in the spot. I realized that they have better options besides the NE5532, so I got these Burr Brown OP2134, whatever they're called, fancy op amp chips coming. And so I'm really excited about that. But tonight we played, we got a new song, and with these new headphones, with the EQ, it's just been kind of like frustrating, like all this stuff, and it wasn't quite right. I got my one ear is a little quieter than the other. So when I have my headphone amp come in, I'll be able to have independent volume controls for each channel. And that's a modification I'll be doing on this circuit. But I also will replace the op amp chips with these really expensive. They're $4 a piece. Now, the op amp chips that are in the EQ are AD828s, and they got a super high slew rate. They're newer op amps. They gobble up the current, and they sound fantastic. So I really don't have to worry about that. But boy, tonight, we played. The sound that I was getting, Gomte's bass, the definition and the distortion, the auto wah was not there. We had to take the auto wah apart and modify it by changing the value of a couple of capacitors, and that took the filter where it was quacking, the auto wah, and moved it down about 150 on the scale of KHZ. So now instead of being up at 250, it's quacking around 100 and up. So that made a noticeable difference in the auto wah. And like I said, we played before I had modded that, but man, did she have a really good sound. The compressor, I really like the compressor. I really do. It's just got that squish, and it's a bright sounding, good circuit. The wine cellar has a really powerful EQ on it, and I love the built-in distortion. Although when you turn it all the way up, it's not so hot. You need to know where to run it. And as far as the distortion, we have another pedal dedicated to do that, the ultimate drive. So I do not feel like I need to worry about any of the clean signal, a clean blend with this Joyo Ultimate drive. There's enough low end, which is awesome. It's always kind of a hassle to have a mixer circuit. The speaker simulator is a cool low end boosting functionality of it that gives it some more character. And I love the tuner. So tonight, like I said, I was just like, man, does this sound good. I was really just like, I love it when a plan comes together, after all this monkeying around, and now here we are reaping the fruits. And are we going to run this pedal board every time we play indoors? Probably not. It'll probably be easier for us to run through her B2. but we'll use it for a little while, and then of course when we go out and do our remote, which is when we drag all this gear out into a remote location and film ourselves performing these songs that we've written, we will definitely be using this pedal board from here out. So yeah, we got a noise gate coming. I'll modify this board, install the noise gate, and that headphone amp's going to come in. Another thing, I don't know if you ever heard of a Bbe Sonic Maximizer. It's a circuit that got popular in the 80s, and it adds another dimension of high-end. A lot of producers were using it on their mixes. That's where you get the stuff like Def Leppard, Hysteria, or these songs with just like another dimension of high-end, like real crisp, sizzly sounding treble. And that's this circuit, this Bbe circuit. Now, in my case, working with a lot of homemade stuff or lower end gear that I've got stuff from China and like affordable mixer, throwing something like this circuit in there, it's not going to make the high end overly hot and sizzly. It's just going to make it sound normal. So they just started making, as far as I know, I mean, it was labeled new. There's an equalizer circuit that you can buy that has that Bbe chip. It's got the Bbe 12750 or whatever it is. And then there's a pair of op amps as well. So I have one of those coming. I am no stranger to that Bbe chip circuit. We had a mixer that I had the treble all the way up on everything, and it seemed like I still wanted more high end. And reading about it, people said that's really where that circuit shines, is to put in between a mixer and the power amp, this filter, this little circuit. And they started selling them on eBay, so I picked one up and installed it in our mixer on the output, and it's a nice little idea, and it does what it's supposed to do, and I have absolutely no complaints. It's an affordable thing. I think I paid $3.50 for the first one I got. They've got them up to $20 and $30, depending on what you get. You can just get the board. You can get the board with some switching on it to boost the high, the low, and defeat the unit, bypass it. And then you can get boards that have pots on them. You can get boards that have an EQ, separate EQ section. So I've got this EQ here that I built. It would be nice to replace that with this unit that has everything on the board. Everything's already on the board. Meaning it comes with the EQ and the master volume, and then there's 2 op amp chips and the Bbe chip. It's all in one for $10. But I'm going to be, like I said, I'm building this separate headphone amp with the op amp chips in it. I could put that Bbe booster in there, or I could put it in the EQ. So I've got some stuff to keep me busy. Mainly, I'm going to be concerning myself with these remotes. Like when the weather gets nice, we're going to load up the car, head over there, and play. And then I'll be editing video and bring to share with you guys. So today was a red letter moment when we played tonight. I was floored. I know my wife wasn't in the best mood, but I was just like, man, does this sound good. The difference in the guitar tones with the new processor that I bought, I got for $200. Man, does this thing sound great. And her pedal board sounded really good. The new headphones were sounding good through the EQ once I modified them by removing the felt. So it was like, everything kind of came together today. And like I said, I still got some stuff to weed through before I'm like officially finished and done. But that always just leaves more time for writing. And, you know, who knows? I know if I ran across a better board for our indoor gig here, that's one thing that I would like to get, is a better mixer. We've got this, it's just not the best. And actually, like more EQs. If I know I've got a couple we're not using. You know, there's one over there. I maybe just need to install some stuff. But at some point, I think once I put that BBE board in there, I'm gonna be fine. But I like that smile curve thing. That's what my ears hear and get happy about. So yeah, today was a payoff. And it's interesting, I used bicycle chain to mount these. You take a link of a chain, take it apart, and it looks like a figure eight. So you run the one screw the bottom of the chassis, and then you do it on the kitty corner, and then that gives you two spots to run some little self-tapping wood screws and fasten the pedal down. And then in the case of like this, the yellow one, I just used some plumber's tape and made my own little mounting tabs. You can see those. Typically when you cut that stuff, it ends up really sharp. Like over here, there's one on the side. There's a couple on the side that I cut. So I'll like to use I have a grinder, and I'll put some leather gloves on and grind them nice and smooth. But that's how you build a DIY pedal board without any Velcro. And it's just screws, so there's no mucky muck. And if I wanted to sell one of these pedals, I could just disassemble it and remove the tabs, and Bob's your uncle. So yeah, I am definitely thrilled. Again, I know I keep saying, oh, it all came together today. But I'm also happy that I've got some more stuff coming, and I'll have some interesting work to do, stuff to keep me busy. And you know, in the meantime, it's like I've been playing, and my fingers are what's been stopping me. It's just getting too sore from playing. But there's 22 new songs, and I can't wait to share that stuff with you guys, so I hope you'll join me. Try to stay cool. If you've got them, hug your pets. Be nice to your little guys. Like now, I'm done with my day. I'm gonna want to get I got a little cat here. I'm gonna want to see if he'll put up with me trying to hug on him and brush him out. I've got where did his brushy go?
One of them maybe fell.
I got a new brush for him that he seems to like. Oh, here it is. I think this was some girl must have had it because it smelled. You know, it smelled like perfumey. And he was all like. So yeah, this is gonna be my excitement for this evening. Okay, you guys, hug your pets, stay cool, and peace.